You know the Sonderkommando?
Yes.
Jewish guards who in effect helped murder Jews in the camps so they could live alone. So there were even Jews who were helping the Nazis murder Jews.
Same thing?
So blacks who are sort of helping the other side, they're equally fucked in the minds to me. They're really helping the enemy who want to destroy them. Maybe thinking that if I help them it'll be different and maybe I'll get off okay or somehow I'll save my race by working for the murderers.
Wow. So that's what they think of us.
So blacks who are sort of helping the other side, they're equally fucked in the minds to me. They're really helping the enemy who want to destroy them. Maybe thinking that if I help them it'll be different and maybe I'll get off okay or somehow I'll save my race by working for the murderers.
I consider it an insult to have to see those accusations and to hear that type of discussion is insulting to me as an African American.
Deborah Ross should be called to task for something like that.
I agree. The Democrat Party takes the African American vote for granted. They don't offer us anything.
So blacks who are sort of helping the other side, they're equally fucked in the minds to me.
To see those accusations and to hear that type of discussion is insulting to me as an African American.
That because we don't have ID, they just won't vote. That makes absolutely no sense.
Republicans know African Americans are less likely to have the ID, so they won't vote.
Wow. So that's what they think of us.
It's why people hate politics. People go to Washington and are just in it for themselves.
Deborah Ross is a Democrat running for the Senate from North Carolina. We met her and some of her donors at a fundraising event on the Upper West Side of New York City, September 19th.
What's the deal with the Republicans with the voter ID? Like, I don't understand why they keep fighting.
Republicans know that young people, African Americans, and women are less likely to have the ID, so they won't vote.
So they make it hard for them to...
Yes. It's Jim Crow. Just put the roadblock in.
Ms. Ross says she wants to support the African American voter, but when we started talking with two of her supporters and donors, we heard comments about black voters that absolutely floored us.
So it's like they're voting against their self-interest.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if you had like a black Republican or somebody, like voting,
It doesn't make sense. You're voting against your self-interest.
like, I mean, I'm sure
In the name of change, what is the change?
Like I'm sure someone like Ben Carson is a nice guy. I'm sure he is. He may be nutty fundamentalist, but maybe a nice guy. But it's like you're with a party that wants to oppress you.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my...
They don't believe in climate change. They don't believe, in social justice and human rights.
Our journalist was speaking with Leah and Benjamin Barber. Mr. Barber is a well-known political theorist and author. And he is a major donor to Democrats, and specifically to Hillary Clinton.
But you think, like, as like a black man, you think that they would vote for
the
them.
Holocaust?
Well, it depends on, well...
You know the Sonderkommando?
Yes. But you think, like, as like a black man, you think that they would vote for them. Well, it depends on, well...
You know the Sonderkommando?
Yes.
Jewish guards who in effect helped murder Jews in the camps so they could live alone. So there were even Jews who were helping the Nazis murder Jews.
Same thing?
So blacks who are sort of helping the other side, they're equally fucked in the minds to me. They're really helping the enemy who want to destroy them. Maybe thinking that if I help them it'll be different and maybe I'll get off okay or somehow I'll save my race by working for the murderers.
We thought it was important to share Mr. Barber's comments with African American Republicans in North Carolina.
Thoughts on that?
Wow. So that's what they think of us. I'm speechless for the most part. It's wrong. It's an eye-opener. But that's what happens when we, as blacks, vote a majority just for one party.
So as an African American voter, do you feel like that you would be a traitor to your own race
Absolutely
if you were to
not.
vote for a
Absolutely.
conservative Republican candidate?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I think I'm benefiting my race by voting against The Democrat Party takes the African American vote for granted. They don't offer us anything.
I think that Deborah Ross have shown her true colors.
Yeah.
Now, if this is not, if what you just showed me is not racism and condescending and
Don't know what
basically
is.
calling blacks stupid and ignorant and saying that we're voting against our own self-interest, if we support any Republican, I am appalled, I am incensed, and Deborah Ross should be called to task for something like that.
I'm very disappointed in her. I consider it an insult to have to see those accusations and to hear that type of discussion is insulting to me as an African American.
It's not only dark money, it's racist and evil money filled with venom. There's obviously an agenda there. And you can look in his eyes in the video. You can see there's a rage there, and there's a deep-seated resentment towards African Americans. This is unbelievable. I cannot believe that such a thing was said about minorities.
Thoughts on that?
Wow. I mean, that is horrific. I mean, to even allow those words to come out of your mouth concerning us as African American folk, to think that we are voting for someone and referencing that to the Jews with the Nazis, I am appalled by that comment.
Yeah.
I have no respect for Ms. Ross and allowing him to be in her corner, and I believe that if he said those things, she in some way share the same values.
I don't believe that African Americans should support her.
Well, I think that she should give the money back.
Bishop Wooden says that Deborah Ross should be taken to task about Mr. Barber's comments. We wonder, will Deborah Ross and Hillary Clinton's campaign ignore this video, or will they renounce the comments and return the money? Why don't you ask them?
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here in Berkeley, California to find out if voter ID laws suppress the black vote. Do you have an opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that, on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data? You can access the internet
Unlimited.
with unlimited data.
I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process on.
I just think that's ignorant.
Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm
Very,
hearing
very
a lot.
ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you know, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
Judging somebody, like, what, you judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it?
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You got no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah.